um, actually on the global aid issue. Like, we're asking for all this aid from other countries, but what are the wealthy Africans that are benefiting from the diamond mines and the natural resources? Has anyone asked them to help, and what are they doing for their country?
Great question. On the lighter side, if they had their countries at heart, they won't be involved in this kind of conflict and in this kind of profit making. So they are not people who are interested in their own people. And for people like this, they should be brought to book and made to, or confiscate all their wealth and made to pay for what they are doing more than asking them to contribute. But then a more important question is, where are they investing these monies that they are making? Many of them do not have savings in the African country. So they are making this money and they're living large somewhere. So somebody must be collaborating with them to be able to do that. So for me, the most important thing is, how do we block the possibilities for these people to make this money off the blood of their people? So for instance, to put in place systems that prevent the marketing of some of these raw materials, to invest in education that in the long term builds a solid civil society. I mean, you cannot imagine how blessed you are to have this kind of facility and this system. Now, there are people in my country who have never seen a telephone. They've never seen a light switch. They don't know what a television is. Now, people like this who are struggling on a daily basis just for a daily living, they are very malleable and can be manipulated and abused. So I think that one of the things is, first of all, we need the cooperation with the international community to ensure that these people, first of all, do not loot the wealth from Africa and stuck it away somewhere here, that we do not create opportunities to be able to benefit from that. And then we also develop a civil society in country that has the capacity to take their government to task. Because I think that democracy will become successful when the people themselves can take their government to task. But what we have today, a lot of the people, when they get into power, nobody has anything to they can do. Take for instance Zimbabwe. If the people could mobilize themselves together, they just go out en masse in the street and paralyze the government. But because of poverty and hunger, these politicians can go in and divide their ranks so that they cannot unite. I mean, if somebody would come up and give you $5 and ask you to give your voting rights to that person, you would find it you find it very offensive that somebody will even think of approaching you and making this kind of request. But at home, people are doing that, and for much less, So I think that, yes, you are right. We need this international collaboration, but also the only way we can hold the Africans accountable is to be able to develop structures and systems that hold them accountable. We have a democracy. For instance, you have the president of a country who has control over the army. He has control over the judiciary. All the judges there are appointed by him. So the system itself does not work, and the people do not have the capacity to hold them responsible. So it's two ways. We need collaboration from the external community, which they are doing a lot. Take for instance CRX and the other NGOs. They go into communities and they mobilize the communities and educate them on their rights. There are some people you won't believe that they don't even know that they can challenge their government officials to give them better services. So you need groups to come in and create the awareness and to mobilize the people. It's a slow process, it's coming. Just on a sideline, for instance, it took Ghana 10 years to get Parliament to pass the domestic violence bill. The first time they mentioned it, people just laughed and said, stop bringing this white man's business here. How can you talk? Your wife is your property. You can do whatever you want with her. So the NGO said, you know what, let's be strategic. So they went into the communities and mobilized. It was when everybody started talking about domestic violence, talking about human rights, talking about sending people to the Human Rights Commission, that parliamentarians sat up. So I think that the work that CRS and other NGOs are doing is very important. There are some of the universities that have young people like you. Some of them have made trips, and while they are there, they are blogging left and right, and that all contributes to creating awareness.